All right, here we are on the drive. I think this is drive 11. Here with Tom Sherman. Say what's up, Tom.
What's up, Tom?
Plenty of pit. Tonight's drive is talking about the Xray XT2 stadium truck. It's like one of the only new advancement stadium trucks out there. It's like some of the other companies have just kind of quit putting effort in their stadium truck, but Xray has done it again. Like they've come out with. Tom, I want to start this off. It's a whole new platform, so it looked like they used the Buggy chassis and copied the Buggy. How you like the overall truck?
The overall truck is good. I like it a lot. I don't know. So, I'll just kind of hit. We'll go into the truck, but I want to hit on something real quick. Okay. I don't know if I really ain't paid attention to AE. Have they come? Has Associated come out with a new truck?
Nah, they had the .4.
A new stadium truck. Are they still running the T6?
.4. They still run
37. Are they up to .37 yet?
Nah, they still with the .4.
I know they were dumping like 2 cars a year, a .1, .2, and one. Yeah, it's like 2 cars a year. Trying to update that thing, but
right.
I hope they got some stuff figured out. Seems like they're doing all right. But, yeah, the new truck is pretty awesome. The new Buggy chassis. Yeah, the truck is the same. It's just like the long Buggy chassis. It's the same length as the long Buggy chassis.
Okay.
So I know a lot of guys had already started doing conversions, myself included. Mm-hmm. Had already taken a long Buggy chassis and converted it to a new truck.
Right.
Put Buggy shocks on it. A lot of guys were using their towers, the Buggy towers. I use the towers that I make for it, and it worked great. But the new truck is pretty damn cool. You know, it's everything the Buggy is, but they did add 13 millimeter truck shocks. I think they're 2 millimeters longer than the old truck shocks. Mm-hmm. Handled very good. Justin drove it last weekend. Mm-hmm. And I think you would have seen a super fast truck, and he had some issues with his transponder that I put in there for him. That was my mistake. Right. The little plastic piece for plug in on his transponder, the piece of the plastic broke, so it didn't get seated into the receiver properly. So it was hit or miss on what it was counting. But that was on me. I felt bad for him. Not really, but I did feel bad.
If somebody wants to put the Buggy shocks on this truck, you say you got towers?
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort with some pretty sharp individuals that know their stuff.
Right.
And, the truck towers, are always taller for the truck shocks and everything, but a lot of math and trial and error. We got the new truck, the 24 Buggy shocks. We converted our short course and our stadium trucks to that. Mm-hmm. And, it's just a matter of not only lowering the shock tower, the mount points, but you have to widen it as well just to keep all the geometry the same. So you could put a Buggy shock tower on the front and run the Buggy shocks, but the geometry won't be correct. It doesn't work right. So you can do it. You're not going to get I don't think you're going to get the handling that you're looking for when you do that, though, because the geometry just isn't correct for the shocks.
Okay.
On the truck. Those arms are so much longer.
So the arms from the 23 truck versus the 24 truck are still the same?
Yeah, the arms are all still the same. So the kit, Xray is notorious. A lot of their stuff swaps over from car to car.
Right.
At least on a 2-wheel drive front. So even the 23s, a lot of stuff swapped over except your arms and your shock towers. Of course, if they come out with a short course, it'll have bumpers and stuff on it. But
speaking of shock towers, I'm looking at the truck right now. I'm on Xray's website page, and I just got the full truck viewing. And why does it not come with a carbon fiber rear shock tower in the kit?
That's a good question. That is a good question that people are already asking. Does the carpet version come with a carbon fiber shock tower?
I'm not sure. Like the truck I'm looking
or
at.
Is the composite plastic one the only one that's offered in the dirt and the carpet?
Yeah.
Does it show that on there?
Nah, the one I'm just looking at the XC2. It looks like it's got like a carpet tires on it or AstroTurf tires, but it's just showing like the regular non-carbon fiber rear tower. I mean, it's got carbon fiber front towers. It's just the rear ones looks like a.
Yeah, it's the plastic one. Now, I did take when I built that XT2 for Justin to run. I did take a carbon fiber tower off of the 23 and put on there. It's still too tall with the shorter shocks. Now we had to put the 4mm eyelet on it, plus 4 eyelet on the shocks to get the right droop out of it. The reason being, I think, is aftermarket part sales. Option parts. That's part of the game.
Right.
Sell a kit, but sell option parts to make more money.
Does the carbon fiber rear tower, does that offer an improvement advantage?
I think, you mean handling wise?
Handling wise, yeah.
I think it's stiffer. So, if you're running high bite clay, a sealed surface in clay, or just a high bite clay or indoor carpet, or AstroTurf. I think that carbon fiber tower offers a little more stiffness. I'm playing around with the idea. The ones that we're making, I'm playing. A lot of the places we go are either high grip or super high grip. Like carpet or like Hoosiers, where you got a glued surface that's just incredible amount of traction. And then even our new track down here in Florida, our SO Raceway at Hobbytown, they're gluing that surface. It's coming around, but that'll be high bite. I think the carbon fiber tower would be the way to go. It just stiffens up the truck a little bit.
Right.
The suspension.
The truck, it come with sway bars front and rear, or just the front?
Just come with the front.
Okay.
So when we ran last weekend, we were running the front bars. I don't even know now. I think I was running a rear bar. Justin wasn't running a rear bar when we were practicing. And then I think I took my rear bar off for my last practice session, and I don't think I ran the qualifiers in Amain with a rear bar.
Okay.
But definitely, if you went, if we were over across the state over a beach line running on the carpet, I would be having a rear bar on there for sure.
How you like the new steering up front? It's saying it's got a new 2-dot steering extensions to match the new steering system geometry. Working together to improve. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been running the new Buggy for a while, the 24 Buggy with that steering.
Okay.
And I had taken, like I said, I converted a long chassis Buggy to a truck. And it just doesn't feel like the steering is I'm trying to think of the word to use. Not sloppy. But the 23 truck was just a ton of steering. And I think it's calmed down the steering on the truck, I think.
Okay.
At least that's how I feel. Maybe it's a little more precise steering. I like the way the car steers now, the truck and the car. The extension plate you talked about, there's 3 different plates you can put on there, or 4 different plates, I think. A 0, 1, 2, and 3. For just different steering feelings, what you want. Those plates you can adjust for more steering or less steering. Out on the steering block, out on the front hub. And I know the 23, we put a 3-dot plate out there just to mellow out the steering as much as possible. But I know with this car, with the dude car truck, I went back to the 2-dot steering on it, and it's working pretty well.
Is this you mentioned about the chassis earlier? Is this chassis longer than the rest of the chassis, or?
Well, it's longer than the buggy chassis.
Okay.
So you got a short buggy chassis, a mid-sized buggy chassis, and then a long buggy chassis. And I think I didn't do an actual measurement, but I think that from the short chassis to the long chassis is about 10 millimeters difference or so.
Okay.
It might be a little more or a little less. I don't know. I haven't actually measured the length.
Right.
I just kind of put it up there and eyeballed it.
So this is so they just didn't come out for long chassis just for the truck, like that's like 4 millimeters longer than the longest buggy chassis.
Yeah, no, it was part of that buggy chassis line to begin with.
Okay.
So I mean, coming out with a specifically designed chassis for the stadium truck, they didn't have to do it because they already had it in the long chassis for the buggy.
It mentioned new improved transmission.
Well, what do they say about the transmission?
Let's see here.
I haven't really read through the presentation that much yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, they said improve gear diff with new diff cases, new out drives, unifies the drive shaft links between the ball and the gear.
Yeah, so you're talking about the so on the Xray cars, when you go from a ball diff to a gear diff, the out drives, it's not the same width. So you either have to change the length of your dog bone to accommodate the diff in the previous car, in the 23 car. With this car, with the new 24, you don't have to change the dog bone when you switch from the 24 diff to the 24 gear diff.
Okay.
Before you'd have to switch dog bones. Now you don't have to.
How you like the slipper on this here?
Well, it comes with a 3-pad slipper.
Okay.
The buggy came with a 2-pad slipper. So I'm like, come on now. Why don't we put the 2-pad slipper in the truck?
Right.
For me, I'm running, I don't really run a lot of mod at all. Hardly ever. Unless that's the only thing they're offering in a race.
Right.
So I'm usually running 13.5. I'd like to see the 2-pad slipper, but again, that's an option part that they provide and I can buy.
What's the advantage?
I'll probably buy a 2-pad slipper.
Is there any advantages to the 3-pad though?
Well, there's more friction material for sure.
Right.
So I think if you're probably running a mod car, you're not really worried about your rotating mass and getting the thing up to speed with a mod motor.
Right.
So you can run that 3-pad slipper. It's going to be a little heavier and a little more friction material for that mod motor to grab onto. Stock racing, stock guys, that's a drilled and slotted slipper plates now. lighter, a lot less rotating mass. You can get a stock truck up to speed a lot quicker. Plus that slotted and drilled, the new slotted and drilled 2-pad slipper, it seems to run a little bit cooler and cleaner. They got the slots in there to help clean out the pads, and with all the holes in it, keeps it a lot cooler also. So, and it's a lot less rotating mass back there. So.
Looking at the hubs here, the rear hubs, how you like the rear hubs?
I love the rear hubs. I like the low version. They got a high hub, which is, we were originally running. That come with the kits, 21, 22, 23. They all came with that high hub, and then I think it was 20, somewhere in 23, they came out with the low hub. Lowers your roll center, basically. And I like running the low hubs. Here recently, we haven't ran anything but, high bite, clay, and carpet. So I took the plunge and bought the aluminum low hubs, and I've been running those pretty much all the time now. The only time I go back to the high hub is if I'm going to go run outdoors.
So somebody like getting this kit in like a competitive racer that's, maybe switching brands, like unsponsored, but they're switching brands and they want to give this kit a try. What's some option parts you recommend for this kit?
Well, definitely the aluminum steering rack. You don't necessarily have to get the arms, the steering arms, but I would get the aluminum steering rack for sure. The aluminum Ballstud Mount for the front. I would get that. The aluminum kick-up plate for the front. And if you can, I would get both the 0 plate and the -3 +3 plate.
Okay.
Is what I would get. I get 2 of them. And changing that kick-up, it's going to change the way your car turns in and steers. And just the way it handles going in the corners, changing that kick-up around.
Right.
And then the rear Ballstud mount for the back of the transmission, I would get that in aluminum.
Okay.
As an option part also. Those would be the first things I buy. When I bought the kit, those were in my order. I ordered all those at the same time because I knew I'm going to be changing them. And that aluminum kick-up plate, the arm mount for the front, with the stadium truck, that is an absolute must-have because you catch one of them big tires on a pipe, you're going to break that plastic one. Save yourself some aggravation, and that would be the absolute first thing I would buy. If you couldn't afford to buy all of it, which I know it's expensive, but that would be the very first thing I buy, and the rear aluminum Ballstud mount for the transmission. Those are the 2 absolute must-haves.
You keep the same rear hubs and everything, the kit hubs?
Well, the kit comes with both hubs.
Okay.
Both rear hubs.
Okay.
So it comes with a high hub and a low hub.
Okay.
So you get both sets of hubs in the kit. Now they are hard plastic. They're not the graphite or the aluminum. I always run a hard. I either run graphite or aluminum rear hubs.
How's the build on this one here? Well, you've already built the Buggy, so it was just like the Buggy.
Yeah, just like the Buggy. No different. Everything fits together really well. You have pretty tight tolerances on everything. I do ream out my arms. Hoodie makes a arm reamer, which ream out all my arms before I put them on. And then the rear arms, they're pretty snug when you first build them. They're pretty tight. So I file those down a little bit on either end, on either side to free up the arms when I mount them to the chassis. It's not a lot of filing, but it's just one little extra thing to get some freedom of movement back there.
Right.
You can let it wear in, do it. You can just put it together, and then they'll be a little bit stiff, and you may not ever notice it, but they'll eventually wear in to where they're nice and free. But I just file them down so they're nice and free from the get-go. There's a lot of times if I'm carrying extra arms with me, I've already filed them down. So if I happen to break an arm at the track, I can take it right back out of the package and put it on, knowing that it's already going to be free and I'm not going to have to work on it at the track.
How do you like the shocks on the new stadium truck? Are they improved over the 23s, or? I mean, we know they're...
Yeah, so it's a 13. It's a big bore 13 millimeter shocks.
Right.
They're a little bit shorter, so it's kind of the same theory with the truck than like what they did with the Buggy, because the new Buggy shocks are 2 millimeters shorter. Mm-hmm. So the truck shocks are a little bit shorter. I'm going to say they're 2 millimeters, but I haven't measured them, so don't quote me on it. Mm-hmm. The build on them's good. The new car kits are coming with X-rings. So X-rings. And using Yokomo X-rings.
Yeah.
Their shocks.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see that Xray came out with their own X-ring for the shocks. That was nice.
Yeah.
And those come in the kit. They're standard now.
Tie rod.
Oh,
my bad. Go ahead.
The only thing I can say for shocks is just make sure you trim the plastic. So if there's any, like when you take them off of the parts tree, mm-hmm. Make sure you take an X-Acto and trim off any little burrs. I built a set, and I really didn't check it, but I didn't think there was any burrs on the spacers mm-hmm. that go into the shock. Mm-hmm. Your little O-ring cartridge you can put up in there.
Right.
And but there was just enough of a burr that when you put everything together, it squeezed down on the shock shaft, and you could just feel that binding when you were moving the shaft up and down in the shock. Mm-hmm. It just bounded up. Didn't free, not a lot, but you could definitely feel it.
Tie rods. Something I noticed with Xray guys is nobody switches their tie rods out.
The tie rods are stout, man.
Right.
I see a lot of team drivers. They put some titanium camber links and steering links and stuff on there, but and I actually have a set. I had a set of titanium ones that I had on the new Buggy, and I took them back off. They looked really good, but I don't know, there's something about them. It was just, they're always a little bit bigger. The threads are bigger than the kit, so they bind up in the ball cup unless you grease the hell out of them and run them in and out about 10 times to get some good threads in there. But unless you change ball cups to another brand or something, I think you're stretching the plastic. You're putting stress on the ball cup with that bigger titanium. And, if you get into a wreck or hit a wall or something, the ball cup, in my opinion, I think would have a tendency to break more easily than with the kit turnbuckles.
Right. I will add something to get is a aluminum servo horn. I'm looking at this one here. They offer the plastic one in the kit.
Get the aluminum servo horn. Justin tried to run his with the plastic one that comes in the kit. And no moss.
Right.
No more plastic servo horn.
Right.
That thing pulled the ball stud out of it. Of course, involved in an accident, either hitting the pipe or hitting the wall or something. I don't know what he did, but it pulled the ball stud right out of that plastic and ruined his run. But yeah, that's definitely another must-have when you purchase a kit. So there's 3 absolute must-haves. Mm-hmm. That's a good call. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. What about shock springs?
Shock springs, the new springs for the new shocks are good. In the Buggy, they felt, and I anybody wants to comment with a good shock spring tester, if they even make them anymore, put it in a comment or something and let us know. I'd love to get one and just kind of start measuring some shock spring tensions.
Right.
But I think the new springs for the Buggy than the 12 mil springs. So a 2 dot 13 mil spring was not the same tension as a 2 dot 12 millimeter spring. So I think the new springs are a little bit stiffer than the old 12 mil springs.
Any springs, like, is kit springs good to run with the truck, or not? I mean, yeah, I'm talking about competing at a top level, like a.
Well, the kit springs I think are 2 dot all the way around.
Okay.
I think is what it came with. So I mean, if you're going to go out and race and compete, which if you buy this truck, that's what you're doing.
Right.
You know, I would buy, unless you're racing outdoors, I wouldn't even bother with like a 1 dot spring.
Okay.
But if you're running any sort of track that has decent traction, 2 dot and above.
Okay.
Is what I would carry with me. 3 and a 4 dot spring. I would definitely carry a set of each for the truck, depending on what your handling demands.
Yeah.
What the tractor demands.
Yeah, I'm looking at now. It says it comes with a 1.6 millimeter anti-roll bar up front. Is that what y'all guys are running, or did y'all bump it up?
It's pretty stiff, man.
Okay.
I went down to, I think it's a 1.4 bar. Is what I was running on mine. And that's something. Where were we at? Oh, we were at Beachline on carpet, and I'm thinking I had to run a pretty. My initial setup when I went there was, I felt like I needed to have a bigger bar on the short course truck. And my short course, it was just traction rolling. Couldn't figure it out. And I adjusted everything on that truck. I don't know how many shock, piston, and oil changes I went through, but it was driving me nuts. And I didn't have my national setup sheet. It was on my old computer, and that crashed, so I couldn't get it off of. I couldn't get my old setup sheet for nationals last year. So I called Justin, and he's like, "Well, I got it right here on my phone."
Right.
So he sent me my setup sheet that I had and his when we ran short course truck, and we ran really light bars. I mean, we were running light bars. Like a 1.2, 1.1, 1.3, 1.2. I can't remember exactly what we had on there now. And that changed the truck dramatically. It let the suspension actually work back and forth. So I put that lighter bar on there, and the truck just came to life. Like totally different truck, and made my weekend much more pleasant. So I see a lot of posts on the different group sites for the trucks talking about my pre-bin. I made a 2.2 bar for the back of the truck. I'm like, holy cow, that's a huge bar. And I'm just thinking, I just think it's too much. I don't think you prevent everything. You prevent the suspension from working side to side. So I don't necessarily agree with it. But then I hear them having problems with traction rolling. I'm like, go to a lighter bar. Go to lighter bars, thicker shock oils. I'm not a big fan of the big bars. Let's put it that way. So it comes with a 1.6. I'm pretty sure I went down to a 1.4.
Arms. They got the medium arms comes in the kit. Did y'all go graphite or hard, or?
Yeah, I built the kit. I put graphite arms on it.
Front and rear?
Front and rear.
Okay.
I had them. Yeah, I didn't buy them. I had them. They're the same arms that we've been running for the last 3 years. They're the same exact arms. So I already had some in my box, so I went ahead and put the graphite arms all the way around. I put graphite caster block and steering block on the front. And then we still ran a hard, I'm not sure what the on the rear hub if it's hard or medium. But I did put the hard low hub on the back.
Okay, it comes with the body didn't change from last year to this year.
No, body looks the same. It comes with a body. The body works. You know, I don't. We haven't had any issues with the body. We can get it pretty low on the truck, which is nice. We can get it low on the truck. If you run our towers and buggy shocks, you can get it even lower. So that's pretty nice to have. Comes with wheels. Comes with a set of wheels. Also,
you didn't get to weigh yours, did you?
I have not weighed mine. I need to do that. I need to put it on the scale and see what it weighs in it. Now they weighed beach line when I ran my converted truck, Buggy. But I never even asked what the weight was. They just made me throw the body on there, and they said I was good. So I don't know exactly what it weighs. I'll weigh the truck kit, the new truck kit that I just built. So I'll weigh it this week and let you know.
Okay. Yeah, like, I mean, just scrolling through, I mean, everything looks like, I mean, it's top notch. Oh, did y'all switch out spur gear? It comes with a 78 to spur gear.
No, we ran 78 on the truck.
Okay.
We run 13.5, I think, the exhaust motor in it.
Right.
We were running, what was I running? 27, 78 or 20 fast. Holy cow. Speed's not an issue.
Who makes a titanium screw kit for Xray? Is anybody?
I'm pretty sure of anybody. I know there's probably kits out there.
Right.
That's Xray specific. I've gathered so much titanium.
Right.
It's like I was just buying the AE titanium kits from Jconcepts, and then just cannibalizing those kits for make a screw set for the Xray. I don't know if why not makes this titanium kit or who. Not sure who makes them.
I was thinking Avid may have made them, but I'm not sure.
Well, Lunsford used to make them, but
yeah,
you know they're no longer in business. So
right.
And Lunsford used to have a turnbuckle kit for them as well. Bearings. You know, the kit bearings are good. Eddie Henley from Hoosier RC. I think it's either Fast. I'm pretty sure his product line is Fast Eddie.
Okay.
I know there's a Crazy Eddie line of products, but don't quote me. I think it's Eddie Henley out of Hoosier RC up in Indiana.
Yep.
Has his line of bearings that I don't even know how to describe these bearings. The absolute best bearings I've ever had since Boca bearings. We were putting Boca bearings in our Associated Worlds car and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember
Boca truck back in the day.
Yep. I
haven't seen that good of bearings since the Boca bearings. But he does make available for just about every manufacturer for bearings, and they are phenomenal. You can put them on a front tire, and then you'll sit there and spin for 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, it's just stupid. They spin forever. They're super free. I got them in my buggy right now, and it's amazing.
And then he's an awesome guy.
He has an oil. When he did, I talked to him a little bit about it, the bearings, and the bearing manufacturer had recommended the oil to put in the bearings. So he has purchased that oil, and that's available also through him for those bearings, and they're good.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know, any other company offering a bearing kit for the Xray. But that's
Well, Trinity had a bearing kit for it.
Right.
They put together a bearing kit, a ceramic bearing kit, and since Horizon bought them, I don't know if they're still selling it or not, because that was the kit that they put together in-house and packaged. So I don't know if Horizon is still offering those bearing kits or not. I don't know. But those were pretty good bearings too.
They're body mounts. It's unlike something I've seen like before. Like you can adjust the body, I guess, up and down, front and rear.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I've read some comments. They break the front body mount, and that's generally from either hitting something or they're nose diving it, and it breaks. And I've broken mine. So it's nice because you can adjust the body up and down very precisely if you want with the different. So you can adjust the body. You can fine tune it to exactly where you want it, or you can make the bigger adjustments by moving the pin in the body mount, raising it up or down for a bigger adjustment. But that's probably the weak point on the front of the truck is that front body mount. But unless you're hammering walls or nose diving it, it's never an issue. The rear body mounts are the same as before. I've never broken a rear body mount that I can think of. Knock on wood.
Yeah, like I said, it just looks like from what I saw, looking at right now, you can look like you can move the rear up or rear down, I guess, with grip.
Yeah, you can move the front and rear up and down, and then the rear mounts you can move forward and back also. So it has shims on the plastic spacers that go on the body mount, so you can move it forward and backwards to fit another brand body if you want.
Have you ever broken a body mount, or you just say you?
On the front, I've never broken a rear mount. Okay. Knock on simulated wood green. But I have broken a front mount twice since I've been running the truck, and it's been I had the 17 truck, same body mount. I've probably been running the Xray trucks for 4 years now, 5 years.
Okay. I'm just amazed at all the adjustability they have on the Xray line, but especially like this truck that I'm looking at,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much everything. I mean, you can move rear arms up and back, you can move hubs up and back, front and rear. The hubs come with pills that go in there to adjust your hub height and your hub.
Yeah.
So you can move those up or down, in or out, depending on what the traction is on the track. There is a lot of adjustability on the car.
If somebody wanted to find a setup sheet, where could they go and find setup, like current setups?
Xray's Facebook page.
Okay.
I believe if you scroll across, it has a files tab. You can find some, if it's on the public side. I'm not sure.
Right.
You can find some setup sheets there, or Petted RC. A lot of guys. I should probably post some setup sheets for the trucks on that website, because I know we get a lot of requests for setup sheets for our trucks. And then really messaging. Most of the team drivers are pretty good about it. They'll send a setup sheet. Except for a lot of local tracks, they've been to all the big tracks, all around the country. So we have a setup sheet that's a good starting point. But word of caution on setup sheets. They are a guide. So if Renderneck sends me a setup sheet or I ask for one, it's definitely a guide, because I cannot drive a vehicle like Renderneck can drive a vehicle.
Right.
So you have to fine tune that setup sheet for your driving style. And it goes with anybody. I could send somebody my setup sheet, and that's what I'll tell them. So look, this is a starting point. It'll get you in the ballpark. But you're going to need to fine tune it for your driving style. Just so everybody knows, it doesn't matter what brand you drive, but if you get a setup sheet from somebody, just know it's a starting point. It's not a I put Dakota Finn's setup sheet. I put his setup on my car, and I can't drive the damn thing.
Right.
I don't think anybody can drive Dakota's car with his setup.
Right.
The only setup sheet that I found that I've been remotely able to drive from a pro is Tessman's setup sheets.
Right.
But Justin couldn't drive it.
Right.
Put that setup on his car, he couldn't drive it. It didn't suit his driving style. So
yeah, I've tried to drive a couple of the pros setups on the Losi car. I think one of them could have been, I think it was Dakota's that I tried, and I couldn't drive it. But the one that I could remotely drive is Cavalieri's setup. But yeah, sorry, switching subject, but yeah, pro setups they're just totally out there sometimes.
Well, their ability to drive far exceeds our ability to drive, and 99.9% of the drivers in the country are going to be able to drive their setups. They're the top 1% in the country. They just drive with a completely different mindset than we do.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing. I when I was at the class, just talking with like the Xray guys on the team, and they were just like, no other team works together like that, like Xray does.
Well, it's nice because I can message anybody or call people that I have numbers for and ask them if I'm stuck on a problem with setup, or my cars or trucks do something that I don't like, that I can't figure out how to get it out of it. I'll give them a call or send them a message, and generally 5 minutes or maybe 5 hours I have a response.
Right.
I'll always get a response that day from a team driver. It's nice. Maybe working at a regular job, or they're out testing or racing somewhere. They don't have time to sit there and look at their phone because they're trying to figure out their cars. But
right.
They always find time to look at their phone sometime.
How are Xray wheels? Are they the same offset as like some of the other brands, or do they have their own offset?
They're the same as like an AE wheel.
Okay.
I think it's the same as the Losi too. I think the Losi wheels are for stadium trucks are any different.
Xray wheels, are they built different than other wheels? Are they sturdier or?
Oh, they're all out of plastic.
Right.
I'd actually have to check. Because we were running Xray wheels for quite a while. And I think they're actually making a firm wheel. I think they have a regular wheel, and I think they have a firm wheel now. But you see wheels, the mono wheels now for a couple of years on my stadium truck, and I haven't gone back and tried the Xray wheels. Well, I can tell you for the higher bite tracks, I would like a firmer wheel. So maybe that's something I may need to investigate.
Then what's out there?
I'm extremely happy with the truck. I hope they come out with a new short course truck with the same platform.
Right.
So, there is some other stuff coming out. I don't think it's been publicized yet. But there is some stuff coming out. It'll work on the buggy or the trucks.
Right.
That it's a part for shocks.
Right.
I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. Just kind of keep that.
I'm not gonna say what it is until it's announced, but
right.
It's a part for the shocks, and it was a game changer. It was amazing what it did for the trucks. We had plenty of traction on the buggy, so we didn't try it, but we did put it on the trucks, and it locked the back end in so much better that we actually had to put more steering into the trucks.
Okay.
Be on the lookout. That's all I can say.
Right. Hexes. Y'all still run the kit hexes that come in the box, or did y'all switch those?
We switch them depending on what we want the truck or car to do. So
okay.
We'll either go narrower if we need more we want out of the vehicle. High bike carpet. I think I was running the widest hex I could put on the back and maybe 2 sizes smaller on the front. Yeah, 6 or 8 different size hexes you can get to put on your vehicles. Adjust your track, you can adjust the width of the car to get it to handle. It's kind of a fine tuning deal where your steering is good, the back end's good, but you need a little more rotation. Go to a size smaller hex, or maybe go 2 sizes smaller or 3 sizes smaller and see what your truck does, and then go back up. They're very small increments, so you can kind of fine tune the way your car turns and handles with those as well. Yeah, and I don't even know if we mentioned it on this. I was driving my converted truck with the buggy shocks. He was driving the new truck with the truck shocks. I don't know, unless maybe we're on carpet, that there's even a need to put the buggy shock on there now. I mean, that truck, granted, he drives. I haven't looked at lap times. I didn't really compare lap times, but I know he had looked at them. I think he was 2 or 3 tenths of a second faster than I was with the new truck versus my converted truck with buggy shocks. So I think the new shock package is good.
Okay. Tom, I appreciate this, man. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. It's always fun chatting about stuff like this.
On the drive.
Keeping me company keeping me company as I make my 2.5-hour drive down to work.
Oh, very interesting. Very excited about this truck from Xray. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell notification. If you found value or if you like the channel, also helps out the channel a lot. Check out my links below. I got some affiliate links below. Just stuff, you need at the track, whatnot. Check them out. But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. If you see me at the track, come up to me and say what's up. Just like everybody else. See you soon.